After an elaborate sting operation, Ottawa bylaw enforcement officers have hunted down a 14-year-old suspect and issued him a heavy fine for infringing bylaw rules. For more about this, let me introduce your host, Mr. Klaus Kellerman. That's me. That's me. I know. This is the low budget news, guys. The low budget news where the anchor drinks coffee on the set. I want to share this story with you because it's very interesting. Let's read it word for word from the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation webpage. An Ottawa family says they were shocked to receive an $880 fine days after their 14-year-old son used a skateboard park on his birthday. Now, in Ontario, there have been many rules. You can stay outside, then you must stay inside. You can go for a walk, then you must not go for a walk. You can use the park, then you're not allowed to use the park. You can go to school, then you must stay home. The latest set of rules are draconian lockdown rules where you basically can't do anything. They've closed everything in Ontario, including playgrounds initially. But after some public backlash, the government said, okay, we've shut down everything, including restaurants and golf courses and playgrounds. But people are complaining about playgrounds. We will let playgrounds remain open. Playgrounds are open. Now, I guess skateboard parks are not considered playgrounds. They're considered amenities, I think. I'm not sure. But for example, if you go for a walk in Ontario now, you are allowed to go for a walk by yourself or with someone who lives alone, as long as you're 6 feet away from them and wearing a mask. If you get tired and you have to sit down and there's a picnic table nearby or a bench, you are not allowed to use the picnic table or bench because it is considered an amenity, and amenities are off limits. Some very complicated rules. So this is the result. This poor Ottawa family. On Monday, Merrick Batstone's family, that's the child's name, I guess, Merrick Batstone. Do they call you Merrick Batman at school? That's a cool name. I like that name. I'm going to call you Batman. His family decided to celebrate his 14th birthday by visiting a legacy skate park near where they live so that he can enjoy some fresh air and exercise. Let me move over so I can show you the clip over my right shoulder, which to you appears as left, but to me is my right shoulder. Merrick is enjoying his time out skateboarding. Maybe that's your new skateboard you got for your birthday. I'm not sure. The family said at the time there were no barriers or signs indicating that the park was off limits, and Batman was wearing a mask and keeping a safe distance from a few other kids that were using the skateboard park. But it wasn't long before the Ottawa bylaw officers showed up and told everyone to go home. No skate park for you. So I guess a skate park they thought was a playground, and playgrounds were open, but a skate park's not a playground. Maybe it's an amenity. I'm not sure. Could it be a congestron? That's a banana. A banana is a congestron. Or is it just a fruit? I'm not sure. It's very complicated. The family said at the time there were no barriers to indicate that they were doing anything wrong. But eventually the bylaw officer showed up, told everyone to go home. The family says they were never asked to provide identification. They just simply went home. But days later, a bylaw officer knocked on the family's door, and this is what happened. How long can I stay, like, while the clip is rolling? Is the clip over? Is it over? 880 bucks? They were shocked. They felt horrible. They were disheartened. The province-wide stay at-home order issued last month initially forbid the use of outdoor playgrounds and park equipment, but after public outcry, the province reversed those restrictions a few days later. The family said they didn't really know whether a skate park was included or wasn't included. They just felt really frustrated that because we've done everything this is what they said, we've done everything we can, and then to get slapped in the face with this, it was so disheartening, and they felt really bad. Batman, I feel for you, buddy. Let's keep going here. The city responds. Michael Lalonde, a spokesperson with the City Bylaw and Regulatory Services Department, said more officers have been deployed to skate parks and basketball courts because of growing numbers of complaints. People in Ottawa, apparently, are complaining that skateboard parks and basketball courts are being used. And so officers are roaming the city, checking skate parks and basketball courts. It's just mind-bogglingly insane. Officers have been doing this for the past year and a bit. They are aware of repeat offenders. They are aware of problematic areas in the city. Our goal is always to educate, but education only goes so far, says Mr. Lalonde. Education only goes so far. And then eventually, $850 for you. The Blackstone family said this was their first encounter with a bylaw officer at the skate park. In cases where officers are unable to identify the alleged offender at the scene, they have 30 days to issue a ticket, Lalonde said. He said signs marking the skate park as off limits have been posted, but might have been torn down. Yeah, might have been. Though we are not at liberty to confirm any details on this case, as it's currently before the courts, the city can confirm that no individuals under the age of 16 can legally be fined, and were not fined in this instance. Tanya McCumber, acting director of the city's bylaw department, said in an emailed statement on Friday. This is like a big issue. Opthov's name is on the ticket. She was, this is the child's mother. Opthov's, I don't know if I'm saying your name right, name is on the ticket. She wasn't using the skate park herself, but was watching her son from the car. Opthov said bylaw officers only became aware of her when she approached them to ask if the family should leave. Which I guess when she approached them to ask if the family should leave, she was near the skate park, and they issued the ticket to her. The family said they plan to fight the ticket and want to know why skate parks are off limits when playgrounds and other facilities are open. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows what's open and what's closed, or why. Even the politicians don't know. Okay, anyways. That's the story. Batman, it's mind-bogglingly stupid, guys. Can you imagine? Now, like I said, I'm not a reporter. I'm not fact-checking anything here. I don't know the circumstances, the details, only what I'm reading you. For instance, you don't know if the bylaw officer in question maybe had a terrible 2-3 days where he'd visited 23 skate parks and kids threw spitballs at him and called him names, and he had a really hard time, and finally he snapped or she snapped and wanted to issue these guys a ticket. Or you don't know if these people might have been at the skate park 5-6 times and they were known. I don't know. I doubt it. It sounds like it's just a case of bullshit becoming more bullshit leading to more bullshit. And you got to understand that in Ontario, nobody knows what the fuck is going on. The rules keep changing. No one has any idea why some rules are in place. You can go to Costco and line up in a crowded department store to buy golf clubs and wait in the checkout line for half an hour with people all around you. But once you get home, you're not allowed to take those golf clubs to the golf course, because apparently crowded Costco checkouts are safer than golfing. You can go for a walk but you have to be by yourself or with a family member or with a stranger who happens to live alone. But if you get tired while you're walking, you're not allowed to sit down at a picnic table because a picnic table is considered an amenity, which is off limits. But you can sit down on the grass. But if it rains and the grass is wet, you're going to get wet. But you can't sit down on the table. It's just a collage of shit stirred up and by politicians, so the whole country just reeks of shit. And we're at the stage now where, what is it, like 30% of, getting close to 40% of all people in the country are received their first shot vaccine. We thought the light was at the end of the tunnel, but it's getting to the point now where the enforcement is getting more and more draconian. Can you imagine having a force, a group, a SWAT team, a department of officers combing the streets of a city, checking things like basketball courts and skate parks and, I don't know, baseball diamonds, and looking for children and who were just recently in school, in playgrounds at school, and then not knowing their identification, noting down their license plate numbers and running checks on them, and 2-3 days later showing up at their homes and issuing tickets. It sounds to me like a money-grabbing, just ridiculous police state tactic of fear-mongering. What the fuck is going on? And I want to ask you guys, because I know a lot of you watch from other places just because of my character and good looks. You tune in, I know. But let me know if this is, would this be possible, a possible story in the United States, like in Texas or New York or California or wherever you're from, or if you're from Sweden or Germany or England or Romania, I want to suck your blood, or Denmark or anywhere where you're watching. Could this possibly happen? Or is it just Canada that's become this complete shit show? And this is recent. This is yesterday, if I've posted this, or a couple of days ago. This isn't like at the beginning of the pandemic when all hell was breaking loose, or 3 or 4 months later, or 5 months ago when the variants were surging. This is like now, just a few days ago. Is this possible? Let me know what you guys think. And hey, click the button down there and subscribe if you want to become a subscriber, and hit notifications if you want to know when the lunatic's going to post again. And guys, check out the join button just below here if you want to support the channel monthly. I've been told to say that. This is what you're supposed to do to try and grow your channel. But thanks for watching. I'm going to read all your comments this time and make some replies. I'm really interested in knowing what your guys' thoughts are. And Batman, happy birthday. I know it sucked being almost arrested. You're this much far from being arrested. I hope you guys fight it in court and don't have to pay this ridiculous fine. Happy birthday in the comments for Batman, guys. Okay? I'll catch you on the next one.